Hello, my positive posse. Welcome back to another video on Self Mastery Mentor. My name's April Cudwell here with Juan from Juan Santiago TV. And in this Sunday series, we are going to be talking about three different things, which are going to consist of how to deal with negative people, how to know when to take action, and common mistakes with the law of attraction. So make sure to stay tuned so you can listen to all the great advice we have and funny stories about our law of attraction mistakes.
Okay.
Hey guys, welcome back here on our fourth Sunday series on the law of attraction. Juan, let's go ahead and jump right on in. I want to know
Yep.
some of the law of attraction common mistakes. I'm sure a lot of people have made them or manifested the wrong thing on accident. So, what can you tell people about that and your experience?
Well, I think the first thing is that people think that the law of attraction, I think we talked about it before. It's that they think that it's like an on and off switch. I'm going to do this thing, this law of attraction thing, and it's not a thing. I mean, you can't turn it on, you can't turn it off. So just taking it from that context, that's the first mistake that a lot of people make. They think it's like something that it's, I don't know, it's new. It's something that never existed before, and now I can use it. No, law of attraction is something natural, and you need to understand it before you try to apply it on purpose, because you've always been doing it. But if you try to do it like magic, you're gonna get disappointed because you don't understand the whole mechanism of things that you're doing, right? I don't know if you've made a lot of mistakes, right?
I've accidentally manifested the wrong things before, or things that I was
Yeah,
trying not to manifest, right? So I set my intention, let's say, I wanted to attract this, but then I was
yeah,
always constantly worried in my mind, what happens if I get
but
this?
that,
What if I get this? What if I get this? And then I ended up getting this. And one of the mistakes I made through my law of attraction journey and understanding it and everything was that your dominant thoughts, right? Your dominant vibration is what you attract. So
true.
even though I set the intention of saying, hey, I want to attract this in my life, I indirectly attracted the wrong thing because I was always worried. I was always thinking about what
Yeah.
I didn't want. And by doing that, attracted the wrong things.
Let me see if you identify with this. All right. Once upon a time, I wanted to move to the States again. I still do, but that isn't the subject right now. I wanted to go actually to Orlando or Tampa or something like that. I was having problems with my job here. And when I started to send resumes, uh, something weird was happening because I wanted to go everywhere but Miami. I don't know why. I like Miami. I have no problems with the people in Miami. I just didn't like it to live, right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna party, go to Miami, sure. But to live with a family, with kids, not so much. The thing is, I was doing just like you. I wanted to go somewhere else, but I was always saying everywhere but Miami. So it's gonna sound funny, but um, the only answers that I got from the job applications were from Miami. Five job
Wow.
applications. They called me back. They wanted me. I didn't want to go there. So there was something wrong. There was something wrong that I was doing. I thought, is this isn't working? I mean, but sure, it's what you said. I was focusing on something else, not on what I
Mhm.
wanted. So it worked. It just didn't give me what I wanted. It gave me what I was focusing on. So
I,
go
that's
figure.
the, I, I think that's the perfect statement that you made right there. You said, it wasn't giving you what you wanted, it was giving you what you were focusing on. And that's one
Yeah.
key I think everyone needs to understand is with the law of attraction, you receive what you focus on, where your energy flows to, right? Your energy flows
Yeah.
to your thoughts, your energy flows to your emotions, your energy flows to what you put all of your attention into. So if you're thinking of what you don't want, or the relationship you don't want to have, or a bad friendship you don't want to have, or everything you don't want, you're going to attract more of what you don't want because that's
Yeah.
where all of your energy is flowing to. So if you want something,
Yeah.
right? Let's say you wanted the opportunity in Orlando or Tampa. And every time you get that negative thought to say, oh, I don't want Miami, you make the choice to switch it and say,
Yeah.
I know I'll get one in Orlando and Tampa. I know I'll get it there. I know I'll get it. And you just always flow your energy into what you want. It'll
Yeah.
come to what you want.
Yeah.
That's
It's
one
like
thing I had to
saying,
learn.
yeah, it's like saying I don't want to be poor. Great. Keep saying it because People think that, okay, I'm just saying it. It doesn't mean anything. It means that you're saying what you think, and what you think is what you create because it's what you feel. And there's a lot of things happening, right? So if you just focus on what you're focusing on, I know it sounds weird, but we are by being human, right? We can actually think about what we're thinking about. So just stop what you're doing and focus on, am I focusing on what I want, or is it on what I don't want? Because if you're focusing, like, let's say, in a loving partner, it's not the same thing as focusing and somebody's gonna hurt me,
Yeah.
because then it's
Yeah.
gonna come again.
That's actually a really good example. When I was going through my journey, I wanted to attract, that forever person, right?
Yeah,
And there would be times where I would say, I would fall into those traps of doubt and I would say, oh, well, I'm never going to find him. He's not coming. Or, oh, I'm just going to get another guy like this or another guy who's like this. And when I would focus my attention on that, even though I didn't mean to be doing it, it was just my subconscious fears, my
yeah,
insecurities, certain things. I attracted more people like that. When I
yeah,
decided to make the conscious choice to turn around and say, nope, I'm only going to, put my attention onto what I want. And I started saying, I want a guy who's this way, and I know I'll have a guy who's this
yeah,
way. Those types of guys all started to come into me, and I no longer received guys who were immature or, not ready, things like that. And so, based on how
yeah,
I decided to flow my attention, is what came to me. So that's my personal story with it. Like I said, I've
yeah,
also attracted the wrong things on accident by letting my attention go there as well.
yeah. But that's good because at least you know what not to do anymore. The thing is that if you don't notice it, you're gonna keep on doing it, and you believe that that's normal. And sure it is, but normal could be the positive thing too. I mean, it's normal. It's normal for the person because that's what you're used to. Maybe your parents talk like that. Maybe your
Yeah.
friends talk like that. I had a lot of friends that it wasn't until I detached myself from them that I noticed what they were always talking about. And then I understood why I was always talking about those things. Of course, we were alike. And I was manifesting pretty much the same thing as they were. So
So I want to ask about that. If let's say, you notice that maybe you're in a crowd of people or a group of people or even just your own patterns, your self patterns where you're
yeah,
maybe thinking the wrong things or doing the wrong things, how do we know, when to take action, how to take action? Like what are the steps people should do in order to make that change in their life so that they can, receive the manifestations they want and have a better outcome?
yeah. Well, I'm gonna go first through the popular way. The popular way is take inspired action, right? Some people will tell you if you feel inspired to do something, go do it because it probably leading you to something better. But sometimes you won't feel necessarily inspiration. It could be frustration. You must be, maybe you're frustrated where you are and you're expecting the horoscope, tomorrow's horoscope, to say, hey, do the thing that you wanted to do, but it never comes. So you need to do it because if you don't, frustration is just going to build up and you're not going to feel inspired. So there are times where you need to take inspired action, but also sometimes you just need to do what you feel in your heart that you need to do. Opportunities come, ask yourself, am I afraid of it? What's going to happen? Or, right? You don't know if you don't take action. So, first, analyze that part. If you feel inspired to do something, just do it. I mean, if it's not going to kill you, right? But do it. It doesn't matter. But if you're frustrated where you are, you could think about what's the next step that I could take. And then maybe when you get there, you say, oh, there's something better. Or, because life, I mean, I don't, sometimes I think there are negative things, but I think everything's positive. It depends on how you see it.
Yeah.
So the problem, maybe it's that's the thing that's guiding you because you didn't listen to the positive shit, right? You need the negative. So here it is, move.
I agree. And if we have a manifestation, right, there's something that we want to achieve, there's something we want to bring in, relationship, money, whatever, career, there's no time like the present to start. So there's no
Yeah,
reason to wait. You want to wait a day, you want to wait 2 days, you want to wait 3 days. Nobody's just going to knock on your door and say, hey, I'm Prince Charming or I'm Princess Bella, or hey, here's $100,000 just put in your pocket. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Everything takes action. Everything. It starts with our thought
Yeah.
process, our mentality, and our emotions, but it also is followed by, like you said, inspired action. So there's
Yeah.
literally no time like the present to take action. If there's something you want, right? Let's say you want to make that $10,000. Actually, I'll give you guys my perfect example. I just did a video this week on mini manifestations. It's my friend Mary's concept that she came up with, where they do mini
Okay.
manifestations. So they're very small manifestations that have less importance on them, right? So some
Right.
people will say, I want this big career, I want to move, and it takes a lot of work and effort to make that one come
Yeah.
to fruition. Whereas if you have a mini one, right? So I had a
Yeah.
mini manifestation of $4,500 I wanted to manifest to pay for a couple projects that I'm working on for my channel, actually.
Yeah.
And I wrote it down, set the intention, and then about a week went by, nothing had come up yet, and then a week, maybe a week after that, less than that, came an opportunity to move all this furniture from one hotel to another hotel. We brokered the deal, and my boss didn't want to do it. And I said, no, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get in there. Let's move it. Because he was like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work. It takes 5 days of labor, 8 to 10 hour days. Took about eight
Uh,
guys, eight to nine guys per day. Just a lot. Like granite countertop. It's a lot of work. So he was like,
wow.
maybe we just shouldn't do it. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, let's do it. Let's do the labor. Let's put the work in. Let's put the time in. And then by the end of it, we ended up both making more than I actually wanted to
Wow.
make in that mini manifestation, like $500
Yeah.
more than I wanted. So it was about putting that work in and taking that action, where I could have
Yeah.
stepped back and said, it's okay, we don't need to do it, or we can just hire laborers and they can do it. But instead, us volunteering to also help and be a part of it, we actually made even
Yeah.
more money than we thought we would make by taking that action and knowing that, hey, here's an opportunity, take it, instead of not
Yeah.
taking it. So that one came to fruition. And that's,
Wow.
something you guys could try, mini ones to have fun with.
Yeah. And it makes sense. It actually makes a lot of sense because small manifestations means that you have no hang up. I mean, there's less resistance. I mean, it's like manifesting a cup of coffee. There are people that say to me, everybody offers me a cup of coffee. It doesn't matter where I go. It could be a weird place. I don't know why. There's always one. And it's normal. It's the normal for them. So doing those things, it gives you evidence that it works. It's not that it doesn't work for big things. It's because you think that it's big that it doesn't come. When you no longer feel that bigness of it, when you feel relaxed, just like the cup of coffee, things
Hmm.
happen, and you prepare yourself for that. It won't. It's just like you said. I mean, probably $1 million right now. Maybe you could manage it. Maybe I could manage it, but maybe someone else could go crazy and spend it all, and that's not really what you want because you want financial freedom. So you get to prepare, right? Life brings things. You get to go through this problem, and somebody gives you $1,000. Were you responsible with those $1,000, or did you spend it all? It's like a test. You could say life is
Hmm.
testing you. So those small things, yeah, you could use them, like you said, like instead of $10,000, you could say I want an extra $1,000 by next month or something like that, and it's easier and it gives you confidence. Yeah,
And it's something you to have fun with too, where you don't put so much importance or you get let down if you don't get it. You just put it up in the universe and say, oh, this is what I want to manifest. Let's have fun with it. And then one of the
yeah,
things I practiced with it was that every time I noticed myself starting to have a negative thought, I immediately said, nope, you're going to go back to positive. It's going to happen. Don't worry about the who, what, when, where, why, or how. Just know that it's coming. Don't worry about it.
yeah,
Don't think about it. Don't make the mistakes of
yeah,
putting your attention into, oh, it hasn't happened yet. Oh, where's it going to come from?
yeah,
Just instead put the attention and time into, it's coming. Don't worry about it. And so that was one thing
yeah,
I practiced with and I had fun with. And by doing that, an opportunity was presented and I went and took action. So you have to also make sure that you're available and open to recognizing when an
yeah,
opportunity comes, when it's in front of you, and then take that action on it and not just say, well, this isn't how I expected to make the money, or this isn't how I expected it to come in, because nothing's ever going to come in the form of how we expect it. It's going to come in how it's supposed
yeah.
to. So you have to also be open and willing to receiving what's coming to you when it does, in the form that it does.
Yeah. I mean, you need to, you're going to build confidence. The more you, let's say right now you're starting out to doing all of this on purpose, right? Then what you could do is stop and just notice the things that you once wished, but now you have. Notice how they came. How did they came about to you in your life? Were you like thinking about it 24 hours a day? Did you have it like on a vision board? Sometimes yes, but sometimes you didn't. But you did do things in a certain way. That's why they came. And that's why it inspired you to talk to a friend, or maybe it guided you to leave a message to someone else, or to maybe search the internet. It could be something as easy as watching like a video like this or buying a book. I mean, you're gonna know pretty much what to do, and usually it feels normal. At least in my experience, I've done things that I didn't expect nothing to come about it, and big things came. But it came because I wasn't like trying to hang on it. You know, I wasn't expecting something because I don't know. I just did it and didn't expect anything.
Exactly. And that's expectations can be one of the mistakes that we make with law of attraction is having unrealistic expectations of how it's going to come in, when it's
Yeah,
going to come in. That's the biggest thing, when it's going to come in. People get hung up on the time. Everything happens in divine timing and divine order. And so, like we were saying in other videos, sometimes certain events need to happen and be orchestrated so that we learn a certain lesson so that we can have what we want. So,
yeah,
sometimes when we have expectations of, oh, I want this car by this day, and then they get disappointed that
yeah,
it hasn't happened yet. It's not that it's not going to come in, it's just that it just didn't happen according to your expectations. And so then people
yeah,
get down and then maybe get in a lower vibration and then throw off the manifestation. So it's making sure that when we have our manifestations and what it is we're looking to achieve, we don't put unrealistic expectations or what type of guy that it needs to be that comes in or what type of girl or what company the offer needs to come from. You know what I mean? It's we
yeah.
got to just let things come to us as they're supposed to without setting strong expectations. Set the attention of what you want without expectations and let it come into you as it's supposed to. That could be an even better fit for you than what you're expecting.
Yeah, I was watching yesterday the a small biography of a girl called Michelle Fan. I think she has a YouTube channel about makeup, and I wasn't watching a tutorial for me just in case. I mean, I don't use makeup anymore, and in the 80s probably. And I loved her story. It was awesome because she was telling that when she was younger, she wanted to work at one of these department stores for Lancome makeup. And when she went there, everything was great except when they asked her if she had experience in sales. She said no. Everything else she knew. She knew the makeup. She knew how to. She was a waitress. She knew how to work with people, but she didn't have experience with sales. And they didn't get her, and she was bummed out because this was her dream. She understood it, but they didn't want to give her a chance. So what did she do? She said, "All right, I love this. So let me express it by creating a channel." And in 2007, she created a channel and it was doing good. And by year number two, Lancome came to her and asked her to be the face of the company.
Wow.
So imagine if she would have been frustrated and said, "I'm no good because I can't work at a counter at J.C. Penney." Hello, she makes $60 million right now. She has her own line of makeup and she's doing exactly what she wanted because she wanted to inspire people, she wanted to be known, and she wanted to deal with makeup and help and do all those things. And that's what she got. Sure, she was bummed out because she wanted to get that job. But now that she thinks about it, it was meant to be. And she needed to go through the failure interview also. It was all part of the plan. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And actually that kind of makes me think of something I think we should go over with people is when we get into negative situations or encounter negative people, like a negative boss or negative person interviewing you or some sort of negative situation,
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? What advice would you give people on how to deal with those negative situations or negative people?
Yeah. I don't. I can just tell you that in short words. I don't give a shit. I mean, honestly, that's all. I mean, you have to learn not when not to give a shit. Really, it's for some people it's hard, but really, what other people do doesn't have anything to do with you. It's just you don't know if they had a bad day. You don't know if they're just miserable people. But it's their opinion. It's what they're saying. It doesn't have to rub on you. Actually, you should ask yourself, why am I reacting to them? Because if they say, April, you're no good, that channel, it doesn't work. If you get down, you need to ask yourself, wait, why am I getting down from what this people is done? I got a
Mhm.
comment like 4 months ago. A guy wrote to me by Facebook, and he said he was criticizing one of my videos because I had glasses on. Just that. He didn't like that I had glasses on. He didn't trust people with glasses on. He had a fit. I mean, I was here like, what the glasses, right? So first I stopped. I didn't react. I responded. And to respond, you need to stop. And
Yeah.
I thought, all right, if I have to, let me be the adult here in the conversation, right? So I stopped, and what I wrote to him was pretty much I said, I'm so sorry that my glasses offended you. And if you want, just send me the information on what is your YouTube channel. Tell me where you're going to do your next seminar or whatever you're doing so I can learn from you. In other words, I was telling him, you're talking about all about me and you haven't done anything. You're probably on your underwear on the other side of the, computer, just being a troll. And I'm supposed to take you seriously, please. And I just canceled it. I didn't offend him. I didn't tell him anything bad. I didn't defend myself. I didn't need to. I just said whatever, and I just kept on doing what I did, and he disappeared. It's a good. I think not giving a shit is a good strategy to use sometimes. Yeah.
And it's definitely something for people to learn. I could say that. I come from being somebody who usually takes what people say hard and heavy.
Okay.
Well, I used
Yeah.
to, not anymore. Um, but that's something
Right.
I had to unlearn. And I think a lot of people may have to unlearn that trait because they say, oh,
Yeah.
their opinion matters, or their opinion matters, or oh, my friend's opinion matters, or nobody's
Yeah.
opinion matters but yours. Each
Yeah.
one of us are going on this journey alone as single,
Yeah.
solo beings, traveling this world and sharing experiences with others. So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what anyone else thinks or what any one negative situation or negative opinion
Yeah.
is, because the only thing that matters is your perception and your reality in your life. That
Yeah.
is it. That is
That is
it.
it.
And so if you separate the validation that you give other people on their opinion of you and their thought of you and what they want for you, you will literally live a happier, better life. And that will make your manifestations easier for you to come in and like easier for you to receive. For me, like I had certain manifestations I wanted. Are those
Yeah.
manifestations what all my friends or family think is best for me or think is great for me? Absolutely not. Me moving away, living on the other side of the country as them,
Yeah.
do you think they like that? No. Would they want me
No.
closer to home? Yes. Like,
Yeah.
would they want me dating a certain type of guy? Yes. But
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Like, only thing that matters is what I want. And so when I
Yeah.
release the control of needing to receive validation from other people, right? And this all
Yeah.
comes to control again. When you need to control what other people think, you're now in
Yeah.
contradiction to your manifestation. But when you
Exactly.
release that control and you say, doesn't matter what they think, it only matters how I feel and think in my life and my reality. And then when you truly believe that and you sit in that
Yeah.
power and you truly, truly become one with yourself and what you want, and don't worry about other people's thoughts and opinions, you're in a state of flow. And you know what happens
Yeah.
when you're in a state of flow? The universe gives you everything you want. So you
Yeah.
just have to
Yeah.
release that control of worrying about other people's opinions or negative
Yeah.
situations or the outcome or. all that.
Yeah, and you'll know when you're getting constructive criticism. You'll know it because they're not trying to attack you because it's not personal. Somebody could just say, April, I think your videos could use more color to say something. Cool. You could say, okay, or maybe, nah, not for me. But they're not attacking you. Attacking you could be, oh, you're so dumb. What are you doing? That's an attack. That's where you need to say, I don't care. I mean, as I said, don't take it personally. Hurt people hurt other people. So sometimes I even feel compassion for them. I don't tolerate it. I'm not going to give them the other cheek, but uh, I do let it flow and say, whatever, and I let it pass. And they'll actually stop because when you don't react, they don't have anything to attack, anything, and their vibes don't. It's like me giving you poison. You have to drink it to be useful, right? I could give you the poison, but if you don't drink it, it's not gonna kill you. So don't drink it. Just give it back. Let them do whatever they
Exactly.
want.
And that's one thing what you just said right there. We were talking about this last night, a group of friends of mine
All
and we
right?
were talking about how there's true power when you do not care what other people think. When you live your life for
Yeah.
you and you're happy in your own skin and you don't let negative people come in and, upset you or hurt you, no one can stop you and you literally become untouchable. And that's a
Yeah.
type of power that people only envy because most
Yeah.
people aren't. And so when you're truly happy in you as yourself and what words someone might say over here and someone might say over here or whatever situation happens over
Yeah.
here and you just brush it off and you say, you know what? It's okay because everything's always working out for me. You
Yeah.
become absolutely untouchable. And that is the power you want to harness forever for the rest of your life. For the
You
rest of your
become
life.
free. You become
Yes.
free. Yeah, you don't have that. I think that's what we want. We want to be happy and we want to be free. And at first, as you said, it's not gonna be so easy, especially if you've been used to because parents say, you need to listen to your friends, you need to listen to your aunt, what your aunt says, and maybe you want to build a business and your aunt says, don't do that. That business doesn't work. But then you have to ask yourself, do you have a business? Have you worked in this? What do you know about this? What do you know about me? And when you have that conversation, you don't take it personally. You don't have to, you say, all right, auntie, no problem. And just go do what you need to do. You don't need to argue with them. Results will
Mhm.
come. There are people that'll say, this law of attraction thing, this is fantasy. But they don't, it's just that they don't understand because they're doing it also. They maybe they will say, you need to do hard work to get things done. Well, maybe you do. I mean, I work, but I don't need to kill myself.
Exactly. And people will always doubt what they haven't yet achieved because it's
Yeah.
not in their reality. But once you do it, once you achieve it, then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I can do that again. Oh, that's okay. I can do that. But people will always be apprehensive and want to doubt something that they haven't achieved themselves or they don't see as a possibility in their reality. So there will be
Yeah.
people along your journey who try to, throw negativity at you or try to, come against you in your manifestations. But it's truly just a test of you. How, here we go back to that power again, like I was just saying. When
Yeah.
you don't let people bother you and hurt you and it just rolls off your shoulder, you harness a certain level of power. It's a certain energy, right? A very
Yeah.
high vibrational energy because you have a confidence that you exude that you are going to have everything you want. It doesn't really matter what this person says or that person says. And again, that's the power right there. That feeling, that high vibration is what attracts in everything you want. So it's like you
Yeah.
said earlier about building up your confidence. As you work with this more and you work with law of attraction, you go through certain events, you'll build your confidence. And as you build your confidence, you'll no longer fall to negative vibrations or feelings of doubt or people who try to put you in negative scenarios. And you'll continue building yourself stronger and stronger and stronger until you become so powerful and unstoppable that literally everything you want is just rushing into you, all of your
Yeah.
manifestations.
Yeah. I have from my Spanish videos, right? because I have my people freaking out. I mean, are you gonna do English videos now? Wait, just give me a chance. I'm trying to do something different. I have a video that's called "Cómo neutralizar a tu jefe tóxico." It means how to neutralize your toxic boss, and that's my most popular video. I think it's going like 40,000 views for now, and it's growing.
Wow.
But because people identify with horrible bosses, right? But the thing, what I talk about it is what I learned, right? Because this isn't anything new. And it's when you have that negative vibe, like a bad boss always on top of you. There's two things. I mean, either you need to change, or either you need to go, because sometimes it's you the problem, because maybe when you don't like somebody, you're not noticing this, but your body language shows it and the other person feels it. So you're actually instigating it and you don't even know that. It happens a lot with people. I don't know if it's happened to you, April, that you're in a party and maybe a girl comes in and you're like, who's this stuck up person, or I don't know, and she hasn't said anything to you, right? But there's something behind it. Well, we transmit that all the time. And if we don't change what we expect from that person, they're going to continue. And sometimes they're there to show us that we need to move out. They're not going to change. You can't change them. So take some action, look for another job or move or whatever. But it's not they're there to punish you or because you're not doing the law of attraction right. Of course not. It's because that's the way you need to move, because you haven't moved with everything else that came before, right? The opportunities, you didn't listen to them. Your mom said, hey, look, you didn't listen. Well, then life brings you a horrible boss, and then you have to move.
Yeah. And I actually want to go in with one of the things you said there is how, people might have a perception of their boss that he's a certain way, right? It's also one thing if you in your mind have an expectation that, oh, he's going to come in and be mad today, or oh, she's going to come in and be an absolute whatever today, and
Yeah,
that's your expectation for them. Indirectly, you're manifesting them to continue to be that way. You're setting
that's what you
expectations
expect.
for them. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
expecting them to be negative. You're expecting a scenario to be negative, expecting your next date to be negative, expecting whatever, a travel delay. When you're setting those expectations,
yeah,
you're setting yourself up to receive that. So it's like you can even say, let's say you're in a certain situation. If you want to alter your perception of the situation, you can do so like that. Just
yeah,
snap your fingers. It's going to be a great day flying today. We're going to have no delays. It's going to be an amazing trip. Or, my boss is going to come in and be so happy today. Or the next grade is going to be
yeah,
so awesome. If you go into it with that positive mindset and you're already
yeah,
radiating that certain aura and that certain energy, you will
yeah.
attract more of that and you will attract more of what you want. So you also have to be aware when you're going through life, your perception and expectation of people on the other side, and make sure that those expectations and those perceptions aren't contradicting your
Mm,
manifestations either.
true, true. I'm going to give you guys a free NLP technique. That's when you have a lot of, at least one negative person that's driving you crazy. And these are the people that you fight on Friday, and then you're all weekend just planning on what you're going to say to them on Monday, right? Well, just if you meditate, right? You don't have to meditate for this, but let's say you close your eyes, you're going to meditate. Imagine you can do a couple of things. You could imagine that person in front of you, and you saying, I understand, I forgive you, or I love you, and hug them and let them go. You repeat the process until you feel good, right? You keep doing this, but you need to see it. You need to feel them. If you want to hear a conversation, do it. Just imagine it and let it flow. The second one, if that doesn't work, this is what I did with my horrible boss. Is that I literally imagined his body getting smaller, but his head stayed large, and his voice began like to talk if he was like inhaling helium or something like that. And every time I saw him in my head, I saw him just like that, and I began laughing instead of getting angry. And it wasn't fun at the first, because the next time I saw him, I started laughing, and I wasn't supposed to laugh, but he didn't know why I was laughing. The thing is that I would see him differently, and eventually I stopped reacting, and we get along great. We got along great until I stopped working for him, right? But I needed to change the way I saw him. And I've done this for a lot of people. Sometimes we we need to forgive, right, people for what they've done because they don't know what they're
Yeah.
doing sometimes, right? And that's what I do. I just imagine them. I say, I forgive you. Whatever, maybe I don't need to call them, and it resolves itself. Or they call me, or I don't see them again. But it works. Yeah.
Exactly. And with, one thing with law of attraction too is like we were saying, our perception. So sometimes it's us who needs to make the change and adjustment in our lives. Like
Yeah.
say, we have a certain job and you hate your job and it's awful and you're not making the amount of money you want, so you go in every day and you're pissed off and it's just not what you want. If you
Yeah.
decide to change your perception of that job and say, you know what, this is where I am, I like this, I like the job, I like the company, I'm going to choose to be happy every day. I'm going to put my best foot forward every day, even though right
Yeah.
now I'm currently, this isn't where I want to be. And you make that
Yeah.
adjustment, you make that perception change. Your boss might see you in a new light. They might see you as the
Yeah.
next hardworking person and want to give you that promotion where you make more money or put you in a better position where you have more freedom. You can go do everything, other things, and take care of other activities and, not be confined to a little desk. But it's all about how you
Yeah.
perceive that job. If you continue to see it in a negative light and say, I don't like it, I'm not making enough, then you're going to go into that same negative, low vibrational
Yeah.
energy and nobody's going to want to give you a promotion. But
No.
had you change your perception, you say, you know what, I'm going to make the most of this. I'm going to get a promotion. I'm going to, do good at this job. And your boss turns around and says, wow, Maggie or Tyler or whatever your name is, says, hey, you're doing great. I've seen you step up so much. We're proud of you. I want to promote you to this and this position. And now all of a sudden
Yeah.
you're making $20,000 more than you were before. And you're happier
Yeah.
than you could have ever been. So sometimes we just need to make an adjustment in ourselves with our own
Yeah.
perception of our scenarios. And by making a small perception change, we can actually see that our manifestations are right in front of us.
Yeah. What you resist persists. So if you're resisting and resisting and resisting and insisting that things go your way, they're not, because you're not God or you're not the universe, right? You are co-creator, but you don't get to choose how it's gonna come. So you
Exactly.
need to do your part. I think thinking is also action, right? Right thinking is also an action. So everything starts with your mind. What are you thinking about? And when you change how you think, you change how you feel. When you change how you feel, you change your vibe and you change your actions because you feel different. It's not the same me wanting to build a business, but being afraid of it. If I'm afraid, then I won't do what I need to do to build it. That's why you need to build it here first. There's an artist from Puerto Rico that's called Siete. He plays reggae music, and he actually became an artist because he had a lot of odd jobs. He worked in promotion in one time. He worked in a record company in another. And you know what? No company wanted to sign him. And it was weird because every job that he did gave him the tools to do it himself. So life was saying, hey, this is not your way, this is your way. And he
Yeah.
didn't fight. And that's how it became big. And then the companies started flooding in. No, now everybody wants to give you money, right? But he
Yeah.
needed to learn. He knew how to do the cover art. He knew how to do promotion. He knew how to do recording. And so you don't need to fight with where you are. Just ask yourself, right, how is this helping me? Maybe that job it can pay for the studies that you need to take for the courses for the business. And if you didn't have that job, you can pay for that. So you needed the job. So don't be angry.
And one thing I want everyone to make sure they are aware of when they're going through their journey is always be aware of what's around you and the people and tools and everything you've learned, your experience. Use what's around you. See everything for the validity that it has. Like, how can I use all these tools to my advantage? How can I make the most of this connection? How can I learn something from this person or use the knowledge I've learned back then and combine the two? Really make sure that you're being resourceful always because we are literally given every single thing that we
Yeah.
want in life and given all of the tools to make everything a reality. So it's just about you and your awareness towards those tools that you're given and how you can
Yeah.
actually make them useful for you. So that is, the last thing I have to say for people is just be aware of what's around you, be aware of your resources, and be aware of how you
Sure.
can make everything happen for you. Make sure that you're always taking a look at your perception of things and making adjustments if you need to as well. Because we literally are,
Yeah.
like you said, co-creators, and everything that
Yeah.
we want is in front of us.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, what I'd like to say is that don't take things personally. Don't even take compliments personally, right? Just try to remain neutral because some people are or either too happy or either too sad, and there's always you need to make them like a special T-shirt so you know what mood they have today. So you know if you want to approach them or you're gonna be like, well, I'm gonna make that T-shirt someday. I don't know how, but I'm gonna make it. So don't take things personally. Try to remain neutral. Try to learn from your experiences, and be an optimist. If you can't be positive, just be optimist and say, all right, this isn't working out, but some way it's gonna help me, and do it. If you're angry, don't worry. Use your anger, right? I think it's better to be angry than being depressed or frustrated because there you don't think that you can do something. Here you can. So don't get hung up on what people say. People will say a lot of things. So, and keep on working on what you're doing, but focus on what you're thinking about, right? So you don't do like me
Exactly.
and Miami starts knocking on your door when you don't want to go to Miami.
Yeah, and always, like you said, be optimistic. Use your resources and be optimistic. Our energy, our vibration, our happiness is all dependent on us and up to us every single time.
Yeah, true.
Well, I think this was a great session, Juan. I think we gave
Yeah,
people a lot of good information about mistakes and, things to be aware of, little things to pay attention to when you're manifesting, and really showed everyone on this video how we are truly the creators of everything we want. So,
yeah.
is there any last words you have to say to everyone before we go?
No, just to remember always to focus on what you're focusing on. And as we always say on the ending of our videos, have fun. You're not supposed to take this, this is serious, but don't be so serious. I mean, you're already doing it right. Just relax, notice what you're doing well, and try to repeat it.
And enjoy it. Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Well, awesome video, Juan, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you guys have not subscribed to both of our channels, make sure you guys go ahead and do so right
Yeah.
now. Please also make sure to comment below if you guys have any questions or topics. I think what we might do is actually switch pretty soon here from Law of Attraction to something else. So let us
Yeah.
know which one you guys want us to go into, and we'll make a series on that. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Juan, it's great to talk to you again.
I'm saying here. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.